Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Apex Rear Wing live stage, coming to you from Greece. My name's Stairs. As always, I'm joined in the commentary box by Madbird.
Yes, indeed. Here we are near Argolis, the stage Pedinis and Daxi, or Epidaxi, do apologise. High up in the Greek mountains, first the inaugural Apex Rear Wing monthly live stage, and of course, as Stairs said, I'm joined by him, but of course, we're also joined by our esteemed expert in the art and crafts of rallying, Robert. So, of course, we're going to fling down to Robert to get his hot tips on who he thinks is going to kick the shit out of this stage. So, Robert, what do you think about this stage today?
Very good to be with you today. I think it's going to be an absolute ripper.
Yeah, what makes you say that, Robert?
Oh, the sun's out, the Greek people are by the side of the road, they're having a great time, and the cars are all looking very shiny. No one has crashed yet, and it's very good.
Excellent. Do you have any tips on who might fare well in this Greek stage?
Well, the favourite always tends to be Xerus, but we've got Mono looking pretty quick as well in the car that he's driving, and I wouldn't put Madbird past a good result today either.
You're right there, Robert. You just it sounds like you're in a bit of strife, perhaps.
No, all good. Pouring me some water because it's a hot day in Greece, and very much looking forward to the day's events.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're gonna. Oh, sorry. What was that?
Oh, nothing.
Alrighty then. Thank you, Robert. As always, we're gonna cut away from you now because it's time for the stage to begin. Sun is setting here in Greece. The sun is setting on this wonderful mountain stage. Lots and lots of sheer cliffs and dust. So it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers handle this challenging stage.
Stairs. It certainly will. And well, first up on the starting blocks for Apex Rear Wing is Mono Man in the
Opel Kadett.
The Opel Kadett. Yes. Sorry, I just couldn't see the screen for a brief moment, but so far so good. Only about 12 seconds into his run, but he's going to be eager to throw down the gauntlet to the rest of the competitors here today.
Indeed, being the first one on the track is always a little bit more challenging. You're the frontier man.
The pioneer, if you will.
would be the word. As he's sliding through this first section of quite twisty, long swooping corners, but that's a fantastic shot there of.
We're seeing a lot of dust. Unfortunately, it's a bit unfortunate.
It is indeed, but that's what you get when you go to Greece. You get dust and you get sheer cliff faces, and that's what makes it supreme for rallying, Alistair.
As yet, we don't really have anyone to compare Mono's time with, so it's a good opportunity to talk about this stage. It's uphill, predominantly, as far as I'm aware, gravel, which means that the surface of the road is very loose. Much like my bowels after last night's affairs, but basically it means that the cars have to be set up in very much a certain way, don't they, Madbird?
They do indeed. They need to be prepared because there's quite a few bumps and little small jumps. Lots of fast bounce. Sorry, on this stage.
Lots of farts for me last night.
Indeed, the Souvlaki didn't agree with you.
Yes, I've never really been one for the Eastern foods.
Fair enough. As Mono's just continuing on with this stage unabated.
It's been very clean so far, it has to be said.
It does, and it's quite pleasing when he goes over a small jump. You see that small break in the horrific dust cloud following behind his car, which makes it incredibly difficult for our cameramen to keep good vision. As you can see there, it just disappears into a cloud of smog.
Contented Greece fans, or Greek fans I should say, clapping politely before they were shrouded in dust and couldn't see anything after that.
I sincerely hope they had their mouths shut. As he's coming up to this, we're sort of getting into the tighter section of the stage. It's a little bit more of a run along the cliff edge. Lots and lots of sheer drops on your left-hand side and cliff faces on your right-hand side. So a small mistake can mean either going off into the depths and off to your doom, or a dented front side of the car.
Well,
Can't speak.
Dented any panel on the car is basically not something that you'd want to hang something valuable on, because there's a good chance you could scrape it along the side of the track. Or I say track, it's basically just a collection of goat tracks connected by little dirt, gravel driveways. As we've got Madbird on the starting blocks, thankfully, to interrupt that train wreck of a thought I was having. So we see him there in the bottom right of our screen as Mono goes through the sector split 309. Not long to go now for Mono.
Indeed, he's on the home straight here, the last sector of the race, as he goes through this cracking right-left pendulum turn. Yes, as it disappears again into a cloud of smoke.
Yes, Mono is no more. But now we go back to the onboard shot and this fantastic drone shot that we've got with us today, providing some excellent vision of the Greek countryside with those trees.
Indeed, we've got James there, our drone controller. He's doing quite well, it must be said, for his first event.
He's actually been shooting a wedding there quite recently, so he will be later on joining us for some DiRT live stages, but not with us today.
No, indeed, he had his racing overalls off and his wedding photography overalls on, much to the detriment of this stage. It must be said, he's a cracking competitor. As we've got Mono, getting incredibly hairy, but crossing the line. Our first race runner down. 4 minutes and 12 seconds, 0.4. That's quite a good time, it must be said.
It is, and Madbird on the first split, 4.1 seconds behind Mono's time there, so he's got a bit of work to do, but it seems like the only mistake Mono made was right at the end of the stage, so if you were going to make one, it doesn't hurt to make it at the end where you haven't got a lot of time to bleed off going down a long, straight, fast section of track, so... It's going to be probably a tough time to beat for these competitors.
Yeah, it was as you say, very clean and clean as fast when it comes to rally. Seen Madbird hang the tail out a couple of times already, so not quite as clean as Mono, but remains to be seen whether he'll make up for that with raw pace.
That's right, well. That's a shot of the onboard there. The windscreen wipers going on for Madbird. Here we are looking at the second sector split, and 5.8 seconds. He's lost more time still to Mono. So, it's very early days right now, but it's interesting to see as Madbird goes over the bit of a bump there, and that wouldn't have done his time that much good. But it's been clean so far, just that little bit slower than Mono.
Yeah, just seems to be taking it a little bit safe, despite his mistakes. Isn't quite on his A game today, Madbird, but he's keeping it out of the cliff faces and out of the valleys. So that's
and out of camera shot, since we've just lost him in the dirt again, and back to this fantastic drone shot as he slides it through. There's a couple of fans there. I don't know how they got there. It's interesting, so I don't see where their car is. As we've got the Lancia Stratos of Goofball Antics about to start, so. Looking forward to what he's going to provide us with as we see the Opel Kadett of Madbird still winding its way towards the latter parts of this stage.
Indeed, nearly swung himself into as he's getting a little bit loose on the outside, nearly ended up in the trees there, did Madbird, but managed to hold on to it as he's coming through this right-left section here, and looks he's clipped his tail. Oh no! I was going to say it was all looking so promising, but 8.9 seconds before that mistake, he'd already bled another 2 or 3 seconds from the previous split on Mono. So as we look, we haven't seen Goofball come through a sector split yet, because we're nearing the end of Madbird's stage. Just probably about 20 or 30 seconds left before he crosses the line, and a little bit tardy changing the shot there as we come back to the onboard briefly before this beautiful shot of him sliding through and out of shot again. Indeed, we've got him coming around this last section of it, and he's clouded the guardrail there, but managed to they build guardrails quite well in Greece by the looks of it. Managed to hold him out from falling down the valley as he comes around the last corner. Gets a little bit hairy, much like Mono, but keeps it straight across the line. and it looks like he is second behind Mono. 11.6 seconds
Oh,
down.
and Goofball's having issues. He's in the grass there, having to reverse out. He's back on the track now. That is the first proper mistake, I think, that we've seen all day.
Indeed, and it's odd to see from Goofball because he's usually quite a clean racer in most of the motorsports that he takes part in. But he's not. It looks like he's having a mare of a stage so far. He's clouded one wall that we've seen. He's gone off the track a couple of times, and he's all over the place, Stairs.
It's that Stratos is as he's just before he gets into shot there, he's clouted another rock, and just all over the place at present. So that Stratos proving to be a bit of a handful for Goofball antics today. He does tend to be quite competitive in the track forms of motorsport that we race here in Apex Rear Wing, but Dirt Rally proving at this stage to be something of a challenge for him.
Indeed, maybe it's just the car though. Stratoses are difficult to drive as he's nearly hitting the cliff there again. You can just see in the side shots of the vehicle, you can see his wheels jackknifing left and right. He's barely in control of that vehicle by all accounts, but managing to keep it quite neat through this section, managing to not fly into the crowd, which of course is fantastic.
He's failed to materialise in this shot though. We wait to see where he is. We cannot yet see him. Where is he? Is he alive? Has he died? Has he gone off and slept with one of the locals? No, here he is.
Fantastic, as he's thunders past. Got quite a bit of speed considering he seemed to be stationary for quite a while there. As he's coming up to the first split, that's 61.3 seconds down on Madbird's time. Oh, and he's come to a stop.
Was that a relative or an absolute split?
That was relative to Madbird's time.
That is a shame.
So even further down on Mono's.
He's got. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Mono, he's got a fair bit of. Sorry, Madbird, he's got a fair bit of work to do. It has to be said before he can. As are we still on board with Goofball? Yes, he's found his way down into a ravine, as we've just missed the start of Bang's stage. He's 16 seconds into his stage. At this rate, Goofball may well see Bang in his rear vision mirrors. And he's nearly onto the circuit there. He's looking down. There we go. He's made it back. He's going in the right direction. His navigator will be a little bit dizzy after that encounter, but oh goodness, now we can't see anything. We're looking at dust. Better turn on those windscreen wipers, buddy, as we're this is a special moment in my commentating career, because I'm actually grappling for words to describe the scene that you're seeing, but really nothing I can say can add to what is not Goofball Antics' proudest moment in the cockpit to date.
Indeed not. So I think what we'll do is, in fairness to Bang, we might just put Heathy down there in the corner, so we can keep an eye on how he's tracking while we watch Bang here.
Like a disabled toddler.
Our first Ford Escort, and looks like Heathy's off the road again. As we got Bang in our first Ford Escort of the day. It must be said, by this point, Madbird and Mono had both completed their stages at the point that Goofball is at, but nevertheless, back to Bang, as he's a bit of a dark horse this race. He's acquired some new equipment. I understand that previously in Dirt he was previously in our Dirt stages he was racing using a gamepad within the cockpit of the vehicle.
He nearly made it back on track. Sorry to cut across. Back to you.
That's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it.
He is actually back on track. That was a false alarm before, and I'll extend that. And Bang is second in the sector splits there. So that's very promising for Bang. Not too far behind Mono.
Absolutely. Doing much better than Goofball, it must be said, who, if he's not careful, Bang's going to catch up on him at this rate. It's not that long a stage, and Bang's moving at quite a clip at the moment.
It depends who you are. It is a long stage for some of us.
Absolutely.
144 seconds down on the... is that the third split?
That is the third split, indeed, yes. As we've got so Heathy, 2 minutes and some change down on Mono's time through the third split, but we've got Bang here in the Werther's original Ford Escort. sliding his way through this stage. This is the section where earlier, I believe...
Goof come a cropper again.
I believe at this section that we saw Heathy spin himself around just moments ago, and so you can see the rate at which Bang is approaching Goofball.
And we're doubling up now, because Goofball, normally we would have finished his stage by now. We'd only have 2 runners on track, but Roadhog, 3 minutes behind Bang, has started his stage, so we're now following 3 different drivers at once. So, but nonetheless, Goofball, his indomitable spirit, it reminds me of the Equatorial Guinean swimmer from the 2000 Olympics. He has that spirit, and he will finish this one way or another, and I think we'll all be very proud of him for that.
Absolutely, he's not someone to give up, is Goofy, and as you said, we saw, we're actually getting Heathy is actually near the finish of his stage. He's managed to recover to the road, so let's switch back to Goofy's onboard here, and he clouts the corner of the guardrail.
He's not far away though. He's not far away at all, and it's definitely not going to be the fastest time we've seen today. There's a good chance it's the slowest time we've seen. And someone will have to have an absolute mare to not finish slower than him, but to finish slower than him. But nonetheless, he's done what was that? A 7 minute and 10 or something like that.
7 minute and 23 seconds, I believe, which is 3 minutes down on Madbird.
And not very long after that, Bang crosses the line and goes second fastest.
Indeed, it's 8.7 seconds down on Mono, but still 2.8 seconds up on Madbird. And Roadhog, we saw earlier, he actually went fastest in the first sector. So Roadhog on a mission here to beat Mono.
Yes, representing the nationality of, the country of Nepal. And is he in the Fiat? I can't see from this high angle. I had failed to notice before because I was distracted by the mesmerising antics of Goofball.
Indeed, it was. You could say Heathy's Goofball's antics were Nepaling. Anyway, he is in the Fiat 131 Abarth as he goes fastest in the second split as well. A couple of seconds up on Mono. So Hog doing an immense job in that fantastic digital rev and gear meter on the dashboard there.
Yes, that tachometer is a very, very interesting design in the Fiat, but nonetheless, it is an absolutely hideous car. But we won't let it. Doesn't seem to affect Roadhog's ability to drive it at all, with the snap-on livery as he goes sliding through that corner and obliterating our vision of him.
Indeed, but never fear. We've switched to James's drone cam here. Just flew over from Santorini where he was doing a couple of weddings. So I'm amazed that it has the battery life to last that long as Roadhog goes over a couple of jumps and past the crowd. It's quite a small crowd, it must be said. Not too many people have made the trip out, but we've got Stairs starting his stage.
We do, and just see the Zoom sponsorship on the left-hand side of the Roadhog's car there. Zoom incidentally sponsoring James's sound recording equipment on this trip. Which he's hoping to take to Germany to record with all of his equipment as he flies on Air Berlin.
And indeed, here at Air Berlin have a fantastic track record of not losing people's luggage, so I much look forward to hearing about his event-free journey when he returns to the sunny shores of Australia. But meanwhile, we've got Roadhog going through that sweeping right-hander. Fantastic shot there from James, it must be said.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Roadhog doesn't look like he's put much of a wheel wrong. Maybe a couple of hairy moments, but he certainly has the pace. And as I say that, he's gone off. Oh, and he's reset to track with a 15-second time penalty. Oh, I've given him the commentator's curse already. I do apologise. It's probably not going to be the last time I do that. But as something that's gone from hero to zero so quickly, that really does epitomise what rally is all about. It's you've got to hang it all out on the line as he goes up on 2 wheels, and Stairs goes faster than Madbird in the first split. Was that the second or the first split? I
think that was the first split, and so Roadhog goes 4th fastest behind Madbird after leading all of the sector splits. That's a shocking return for such a fantastic stage that he did run.
Yes, but it does certainly show that he has the pace, and it doesn't take long for that pace to translate into results. So I'm eagerly awaiting his performances in the coming events that we have after this one.
Indeed. But we haven't spoken much about our young German, Stairs, in another Ford Escort, the second one for today. Seems to be doing quite well. Went faster than Madbird in the first sector, as you did say. Coming up to the second sector split now, I believe.
Yes, representing Scuderia Staircase, this man, he does tend to prefer the tarmac of road circuits. Not particularly his strength, the dirt rally. And I actually didn't catch the split there. Did you, Madbird?
Yeah, I think he went about a second and a bit down on Madbird, so he's lost a bit of time by the looks of it. So he's going to have to put the hammer down to catch up on Madbird, though we do know Madbird had a fairly messy last sector.
Yes, well, it's nothing particularly out of the ordinary from Stairs here. He's just been trying not to crash, I think, as most of them have in this sort of early foray back into rally after quite a break. These guys have not had an awful lot of practice of late in these cars.
I think James needs to wash the lens of his drone cam there a little bit. Top right corner's got a bit of dust on it. As we see Bagsy, our second Lancia runner.
Yes, I think it was just Goofball with, has to be said, not the best effort in the Stratos. So Bagsy's, it's all up to Bagsy, the hopes of Stratos. And Stairs seems to have caught up a little bit of time on Madbird. As you said, in Sector 3, Madbird rather had a bit of a messy Sector 3, but here comes Stairs, and he's just mounted, very nearly put his rear wheels over the ledge there, and that wouldn't have done his time any good at all. So he's probably going to end up behind Madbird down in third. And he's gone wide there as well. So certainly not the best final sector that Stairs was hoping for, but so long as he doesn't bin it, he'll be ahead of Roadhog.
Indeed, and so as we've got Stairs coming around and disappearing into a cloud of dust, approaching the end of the stage now, reaching that, and I feel like that Bagsy third fastest in Sector 1. He's up on bang at the moment, so we'll have to watch him. But meanwhile, Stairs clouding that guardrail, I think is going to get quite a bit of punishment as we eagerly await to see where Stairs comes in. As he comes in fourth, half a second behind Madbird. So even with that quite messy last sector, he still managed to gain a bit on Madbird.
Yes, it's unfortunate for Stairs that he's only just managed to finish behind Madbird. There's a couple of those errors. If he hadn't done those, then he could have quite easily been up in third place. But we've still got quite a few runners left, so Madbird's not assured a podium as yet. Especially with Bagsy showing some strong pace early on, and he does tend to drive that the wheels off anything he drives. Basically, he tends to drive on the limit, and it's always very entertaining to do so. But he's lost time to bang in Sector 2, 1 second down now in fourth place. So it's all very close up the top at this stage.
Yeah, it's quite competitive, which is nice to see. It's a shame that this indoor shot from the Lancia, the rather poorly positioned rearview mirror, completely blocks our view, but nevertheless we've switched over to a nicer camera as
he stopped.
Bagsy has and he's clouded the guardrail and span himself around. He would have lost a few seconds there. That's a horrible event to befall this man on his quite good stage so far.
Yes, that's Stratos. They're very difficult to control, and that's
rear-engined.
Scandinavian flick didn't quite work out for him. But being from Bagsy representing Portugal today, one of the countries in Western Europe, and here is Sam Smith about to start his well, he's a very talented young man. He's starting his stage now, and he's currently 10 seconds into it.
Very well said. Very apt. Yes, Sam Smith, the young Yugoslavian in exile. He refuses to pick a new nationality ever since the devolution, the war.
Yeah. So, yes, I believe that Bagsy has lost time in Sector 3 now, which is not really something that my producer needed to tell me, because I could have seen that from the from the horrendous mistake he made earlier on, and then another moment there just where Stairs went off, and looks like Bagsy had a little bit more of a moment clouting the inside as he came out of that corner.
Indeed. Takes that nice right-hander quite well, though. Some good shots around that, and Olin's definitely earning their sponsorship money today. As Bagsy's now reaching the end of the stage, so he has, as you say, had a fairly messy stage after that good start, but we'll have to see how he does. And Sam down in 5th at the moment through the first sector split, down behind Bang, but Bagsy approaching the end of the stage.
Surprises me about Sam. We haven't really seen what he has in rally trim before, but as a road racer, as we see him flying up into the air, skyward, and is he still on the track? Don't know if we need to, if he needs to reset. No, he is still on track, and not that far from the end of the track is Bagsy's. Quite looked like he was limping across the line there. In 6th place, 4 minutes 42. So that's not gone too well for Bagsy. He ends up 13 seconds down on Roadhog, who did have a 15-second penalty in his stage. So Bagsy showing early pace, but the consistency deserting him there. And Sam himself having a bit of an issue earlier on.
Yeah, these Stratoses don't seem to be doing particularly well so far. We've got Bagsy, we've got Goofball so far in 6th and 7th, and Sam currently in 7th through the second sector split. So these Stratoses proving difficult to drive, regardless of the fact that they look quite like a spaceship.
Yes, well, one thing that we know about Sam from his road racing efforts is he debuted with us in a V8 Supercar series, and certainly was very tail happy in that, not afraid of a bit of oversteer. So we were expecting him to be quite quick in rally trim, but certainly it is his first outing in this particular car, so nevertheless does need a bit of getting used to.
Indeed. So yeah, maybe just playing it a little bit safe, just trying to finish the stage, which is never a bad idea. As we've got Xeris in the Opel Cadet starting his stage. One of the stronger competitors, the young Ethiopian. So we remain to see how he does in this stage.
Yes, he's doing very well. He used to drive to school, being one of the only people in his village to have a car, everyone else running, but he tended to go faster than they were when they, and Ethiopians run fast. It's fair to say they can run vast distances. They're kind of like camels, except that instead of water, it's running that they hold in their humps.
Indeed. They're quite like wolves who can hold that. They sort of get up to a trot and can hold it for hours on end. But probably don't eat quite as well as wolves. As we've got Sam going through the Olin's right-hander, I'm going to call it.
That's
not
a good name.
A fairly steady. As Xeris goes fastest in Sector 1, 2 seconds faster than Roadhog's sector time. So surprising no one. Xeris setting the early pace, but Sam having a fairly steady stage so far as he's coming towards the end of it. So we'll remain to see how he does.
Yes, Robert's early predictions for this stage turned out to be quite right indeed, giving Mono and Xeris a good chance of victory in his predictions. As we wait to see what the final time for Sam is as he crosses the line to 4:32.4, which slots him into 6th place, only 2.8 seconds behind behind Roadhog. So that's going to be very tight for the minor placings.
Indeed. So the best placer of the Stratos is so far, with Bagsy and Goofball behind him, but Xeris setting some good pace by the looks of it, approaching the second sector split, and he goes fastest in Sector 2 as well. He's only 1.5 up on Hog now, so he's lost about half a second in the second sector, but we all know how Roadhog's last sector went, so I don't imagine if Xeris keeps up this pace that he'll have many issues topping this leaderboard.
Well, that's right, and he does tend to leave a bit of a margin for error. We do know that when he finds himself in a position of strength, but he has been known to bin it on occasion. Sometimes maybe just a little bit greedy or a bit wanting to enjoy the stage a little bit more because we all know the raw pace he has.
Indeed, raw pace, just like quite a bit better than raw chicken. You're much less likely to get food poisoning off it, as he's coming up to the third sector split, I believe. Doing very fast, as you say, getting quite close to that wall, but just having enough forward momentum to keep him out of it. Coming up through, fastest again, 2 seconds up on Hog again, so he's gained that time of gap back and then some.
And we've just seen Nether take off the line. He's another one running the Stratos today, as we see the beautiful back end of that Opel Kadett sliding its way through the corner and then out of vision for many seconds as it hides itself behind a plume of dust and takes that Olin's corner beautifully, it must be said. Like I said, yes, raw pace, not something that you tend to eat, I've found in my time.
Well, I mean, you and me may differ on that, Stairs, just a little bit, but, oh, sorry, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you could eat a concept.
I mean, maybe you can't, but those of us with a little bit more nous and experience in the motorsport, possibly talking a little bit above your breadth there, Stairs.
And following on from that line of verbal excrement, we see a 4:04.7. My maths escapes me, but I think that's 5 seconds faster than Mono. Nether fourth fastest in his split.
Indeed. So Xeris goes fastest. Unsurprisingly, 7.6 seconds up on Mono. So Mono held the top for quite a while, it must be said, since he was the first runner, but just that irresistible force of Xeris just swatted it away from him. But it remains to be seen whether Nether will knock him off the top. Doesn't appear so based off the first sector split, but we wait to see if he'll fuck up quite as badly as the other Stratoses.
Yeah, so it's Mono. His time sweating on the podium has come to an. He still looks like he's going to be on the podium since Nether, I believe, is our last runner today. So he will finish on the podium regardless of what Nether does. But he was the one who threw down the gauntlet, and Nether is very close, 0.1 of a second down on Bang. So Bang is the one sweating in third place on whether he will remain on the podium. The other runners that unfortunately won't get the biscuits today, Madbird, Stairs, both had fairly uneventful runs, it has to be said. Roadhog showed very good pace early on before he went off the track in the latter parts of his stage. Sam had his car facing skyward momentarily after he had a bit of a moment in the early parts of his stage. And Bagsy, we all saw what happened to him. He was also showing early pace like Roadhog, Bindit, and Goofball never really looked like he was in a rally car. Thought he probably was somewhere else.
Indeed, maybe in bed. But we had it was actually Bagsy who shot himself skyward, just to correct you from a couple of moments ago.
No, was Sam as well.
Oh, I do apologise. I must have looked away at that point. But we had Nether just a couple of moments ago going up a cliff face with his rear wheels. Almost like it's a banked corner in Formula 1 or something, but it isn't. Nether is now 0.1 seconds ahead of Bang in fourth, so Nether is pushing this car to the very limits. He's a fast driver, Nether, and once he's got the bit in his teeth, he often doesn't let up, so will remain to be seen if Bang will stay on his third podium spot.
Yes, so, well, it's basically down to this final sector. I don't recall at this stage just how clean Bang's final sector was, but these two, that's probably a little bit wider than Nether would have ideally liked to go, but it doesn't look like it's arrested his speed too much, and we wait with bated breath to see who is going to finish on the podium in third place. It's Nether absolutely sliding the arse out of that Stratos, and it will be by far the best effort by a Stratos driver that we've seen all day.
Indeed. Hopefully you haven't given him the commentator's curse there as he's going through the last corner. I think clouded the guardrail just a little bit. That poor guardrail just smacking from all ends today as he's approaching the last sequence of corners, and the short blast to the finish navigates it well, knocks out the sign as many of our runners have, and crosses the line in fourth place, 1.1 seconds down on Bang, so must have just lost that tiny bit of time and just didn't manage to keep himself ahead of Bang.
How bitterly disappointing for Nether. He unfortunately doesn't end up on the podium for his sake, but fortunately for Bang, he does end up on the podium, just over a second behind Mono in second place, who is conceding the victory to Xerus after setting down the gauntlet early on.
Indeed, and we've got Madbird narrowly, let's say narrowly beating Stairs, only half a second down on Madbird. Roadhog 5.1 seconds down on Stairs with a 15-second time penalty. So without that, Roadhog would have been up into the third podium places well and truly, and possibly even... No, he would have been in third, never mind. And Sam, 2.8 seconds down on him.
That's it. That's correct. And Maxi in a ninth place, having a bit of an issue towards, in many parts of his stage, and
and Goofball just, it must be said, Goofball just having an issue, just full stop.
Yes, the issue was probably getting off the plane in Athens. But regardless of that, it's been an absolutely thrilling contest, and we cannot wait until the next one. As always, I've been Stairs.
And I've been Madbird, and we'll see you next time.